Karibuni, karibuni, karibuni. Asanteni kwa kuwa nasi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being with us. That is again Kiswahili. We now call it Kiubuntu. Commonly known throughout the world as Kiswahili, but some of us are pushing for it to be changed and known as Kiubuntu. The name is Nduku. I'm the host on Kumbukeni. We haven't been on as Kumbukeni for a while, but we're joined by my brother Oladele and my sister Mary. I'm looking forward to this conversation, looking forward to hearing all your questions. You can put your questions in the chat, please, if you have any questions, if you have any additions to the conversations, any comments, please put them in the chat. Let's have a community discussion, not just the three of us talking. So looking forward to this conversation. Asanteni sana kwa kuwa nasi. Oladele.
Yeah, greetings, everybody. Welcome on Kumbukeni. In community with my sister. My name, as always, Oladele Sumo, the founder of the Emerging Kebalan, and it's great to be here, guys. So just join us in the conversation. Let's flow. You know what we're about. You know, uncompromising, awakening your mind, and decolonizing your minds. Welcome.
Mary, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Nduko. Lovely to meet a fellow Kenyan, a Nigerian, an African. I looked forward to these are the dreams I had in 2019. You know, like I felt like I was alone in a hole. Like this all, we needed to Africanize, we needed to liberate ourselves. But, you know, before COVID, just about going into COVID, we'd start a Facebook group. It never used to go far, you know. And, you know, I am so happy with what is happening. There is an awakening. It's like a veil has come down, you know, and I looked at your intro, awesome intro, and I'm seeing, oh my goodness, this is talking about every vibe in me. Like, I see myself in you. I see my spirit in you. So I'm Mary Kathomi, a Kenyan by birth, African. I'm very happy to be both, and also being sort of in being the pioneers or the people that are holding the continent's hand in terms of walking the journey of awakening, the Ubuntu, you know. And I have this excitement that we are on the right track.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So Mary is the convener, and it was interesting when I was looking you up and all that. It says convener of Kilimo Cha Haki. I was like, here go the British with their words. Convener, founder of Kilimo Cha Haki, the person who gathered the people to start Kilimo Cha Haki, all those terms to describe her. And they have been doing a lot of great work in Kenya regarding GMOs. I've been seeing her videos. I said, finally, okay, we need to bring her on to talk about this, because we, myself and Oladele, believe that consistency, we have to be consistent in the messages. It doesn't matter how many GMO broadcasts we do, we can do 1 million. We just keep talking about it. We keep talking about it, because those who send the false narratives and the revisionist history are doing it on a regular basis. So we cannot sleep on it either. So Mary, please start by explaining to us what Kilimo Cha Haki is, when it was founded, and why it was founded.
Thank you, Nduku. I'll take you back a bit to 2024, when the Gen Z, the Kenyan Gen Z revolution started. It was a revolution that started out of the Finance Bill 2024. But take it back to 2023, our government legalized GMOs through a cabinet sitting. And of course, there are a lot of mamas across the country. Oh, what is he doing? What is our president doing? We didn't have public participation. And 2023, GMOs are legalized. 2024, in a quick succession, there were a lot of bills that were sponsored in Parliament. I think 13 to 15 bills in Parliament touching on agriculture. We had the dengue bill, they call the Mangbin bill. We had the horticulture bill. We had the water amendment bill 2023. We had the oil and nuts bill. We had the livestock professionals. We had so many bills on agriculture. And we were like, what is happening here? And these bills on agriculture were very punitive. Even today, these bills sit in parliament. I don't know, maybe they're waiting for when we sleep, then they pass them. The bills were very punitive and they looked to do something specifically in food production. So 2024, January, February, March, a lot of bills in parliament. We did a lot of X spaces on X, a lot of X spaces. That's the way we mobilize here in Kenya. We had a lot of conversations around the finance bill and what is happening. You had this bill in parliament, this bill in parliament. So we did a lot of information sharing on X. Myself, I'm a farmer, many years as a farmer, and I knew the danger. I knew the danger when they started sort of regulating and controlling food production in the country. So all the expresses we did, I talked about GMOs, I talked about the punitive agriculture bills. We even reached out to members of parliament who sat in the agriculture committees to try and ask them to go slow on the bills. And I remember meeting a member of parliament who told me, Mary, we don't even know where these bills are coming from. They come in supersonic speeds in parliament. The first reading, second reading, you don't know who sponsors these bills. One day, of course, the heat is catching up. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of, what should I call, like a deaf sort of government. They didn't listen to the people. And I remember we felt, no, this is now too much. Myself and a couple of my friends, we said, you know what? We've been lamenting on the X spaces. Why don't we do a press conference? So that maybe the government is going to hear us when we do a press conference. So we called together, we funded a few friends, and I remember we had called it, is it Farmers Something Network? They said, no, we need to be Kenyan, Kilimo Cha Haki. So we want to farm food in godly ways, but we also don't want to be curtailed in food production. We did our first press conference that we self-sponsored, and we raised the issues with the government that Kenyans are against the legalization of GMOs. We are not happy with the bills in parliament. Can they be withdrawn? And so apart from the finance bill, if you follow the demonstrations in Kenya 2024, there were a lot of atrocities. The finance bill, for me, was like the nail on the coffin. But so many things were going on. Like right from 2023, people were unhappy with this and that and that and that. But the nail on the coffin was the finance bill 2024. So even when we went to the streets, we went asking for, we needed the ban on GMO to be reinstated, like in the Uhuru days, the Kibaki days, and pulling away of these punitive bills. They've not heeded a call. They don't listen to us. That doesn't stop us. So we did a lot of sensitization, talking to farmers. And when you look, there were already small groups of farmers here and there. We have Greenpeace Africa that advocates for organic food production, good ways of food production. Kenyans are already dying in large numbers because of pesticides and herbicides. So we've been pushing for people to do organic farming, good ways, and what do I say, moral ways of farming. And there are groups like the seed savers. Now, when GMOs were legalized, Kenyans were like, oh, we need to protect our indigenous seeds. And we collaborated. I think Kilimo Cha Haki, we are sort of the people who hold the microphone, like we scream. We collaborate with many groups of farmers in Kenya. There's one group of farmers, they call themselves the Kenya Peasant League. They went to court, and their case was heard in Nyahururu. I don't know if you know that, but it's sort of a far off town, sort of to frustrate the process. Kenya Peasant League was seeking an entire ban of GMO. We lost that case. The judge said we did not prove that GMO technology was a threat to indigenous seeds and such and such. We have, and as that is going on, we have other groups of farmers that come up. We have now a group of farmers from Kitale that have gone to court, and they're seeking the banning of particular GMO maize seed because of cross-pollination. One farmer planting maize here will have their crop affected. Yeah.
No, ignore me. I'm very active listener. Ignore me. Continue. I'm saying exactly.
Yes. So we have a case that is going on that we are the cross-examination. And on the defense side, we have the entire government there. We have Kenya Biosafety Agency. We have Kenya, what is it called? CARO, the people of the seed. All the agencies under the Ministry of Agriculture are the defendants. And the plaintiff is a group of farmers. So what we do as Kilimo Cha Haki, we come together when we see a court case that is championing for our food security and our food sovereignty. We come together and we sort of, like what we are doing here. We pull together and we work together because we have a common vision and a common goal. We've not won, but I need to pull it back a bit. In Uhuru administration, there was a law that was passed, and that law was called Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act. That law was seeking to criminalize sharing of seeds. These people, these neocolonialist men. So if like and I'm sure in every African community you find people selling seedlings on the roadside. They propagate.
It's common practice.
Or even just giving each other, right? I get a seed from you, I give you seeds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you're selling seedlings, if you are supposed to be fined, I think like 200,000. So that was the Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act. And that was actually an act of parliament. So it was already a law in Kenya. So Greenpeace Africa went to court to seek nullification because that law was not consistent with our constitution, because our constitution guarantees protection of indigenous seeds. The local farmer is protected. We won that case just the other day in Machakos High Court, and a lot of clauses in that bill were declared null and void. The farmer was happy, we were jubilated, and you can see there's a connection between the Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act, legalization of GMO, sponsoring of numerous bills in Parliament. It's all connected. They want to take over our food security and our food sovereignty. So I was talking to my friends on the fight, Greenpeace Africa, and yesterday or the day before, she tells me that the government on this particular Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act was seeking a stay of judgment, like the judgment should not be implemented. Then they decided, oh, okay, fine. We're not going to seek a stay of the judgment. They are now filing an appeal at the Court of Appeal. Imagine the government is filing an appeal.
I got to ask you, my sister. I'm listening to you, and whose side is the government on?
The imperialist side, my dear. They represent the imperialists. They fight for the imperialists.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy when you see what is happening. Like the farmers are on one side jubilating, and these people are literally fixing the farmer. They're literally fixing the farmer. That's crazy.
So in terms of our government officials then, because I'm writing something down. So why can't we ban GMOs altogether? What's stopping us? Based on what you just told us, what can we do to push the government back? Because I'm listening. When we have this conversation, I get angry, sis. I get angry.
Our governments have been taken over, my brother. Our governments have been taken over.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I can tell you. We don't have a government that fights for people. They've been taken over. Sad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That, unfortunately, Oladele, this is the truth. There's nothing, and you can see they're doing Kilimo Cha Haki and all the other are doing a lot. They're taking them to court, and they keep getting like blocked. I was so happy when I saw the Machakos win. So like
because I saw you on TikTok celebrating that. So yeah,
every little win is huge. Because I remember with the Ndengu bill, Machakos was the one under attack because we Kambas love our Ndengu. So that was, for us, it was like, that's the first time I saw Akamba people coming together and being like, nah, we're not having this, because Ndengu is a staple. Like Ndengu, for those of you who don't know what Ndengu is, it's lentils. Lentils, the little yellow lentils. Oh no, actually the green one, but lentils of all sort. So we eat lentils with rice. We love lentils with chapati. So that is like a cozy, warming food that we've grown up with, right? So imagine you being told that you can't have that anymore and you can't grow it. This is the food that you've been growing. So I think Kenyans are doing what they can. Kenyans are also on the streets fighting these bills, Oladele, and a lot of them getting abducted, getting tortured, and all of that. So I think
Kenyans are actually doing a lot more than Nigeria is doing, because Nigeria has just been passive and docile about everything. We just say we leave it to God and we're doing nothing. So Kenyans, well done. Well done.
So Mary, quickly, because not everyone speaks Kiswahili, Kiubuntu, what does Kilimo Cha Haki mean? Translate for them, please.
So Kilimo Cha Haki, Kilimo means farming. That word alone means farming. Haki means justice. So Kilimo Cha Haki, that phrase means we want to be allowed to do farming in a justifiable way. Haki means justice. Haki means, Nduku, I hope I'm doing well.
Yes, you are. Justice, rights, all that.
Yes.
Right?
So
and there's no way to explain our culture in Kizungu. Kizungu is so limited, right?
I know.
It's so much more deeper than just justice. It's so much more deeper than just rights. It's like it is the innate thing that human beings should be able to do is grow their own food. That's what that is. And that should never be taken away from them.
Exactly. And when we say Kilimo Cha Haki, we even sensitize the farmer to do, what's the word? To do proper farming methods. We have farmers that are overly spraying the food. They're poisoning the consumer. So we say you farm in God's way, like God would want you to farm. Do not excessively use chemicals. Do not dry your onions using a Roundup or those chemicals that are killing people with cancer. Let's do farming in, for lack of a better word, in a holy way. Do the way nature supports,
Yeah.
So on the side of the government, policymakers, you're pushing for good policies in agriculture. On the side of farmers, we are asking farmers to farm as though they would be the ones consuming that kind of food.
Yep.
So basically, let's get back to nature. Let's just do what God would want us to do.
It's interesting you say that, because I went home in 2023 and I'm in all the way where, I'm not going to mention where I come from, but in the rural area. I could not believe it when we got to the little town. Before we get to the house, we stopped to buy some veggies and stuff. And there was a store, one of the stores in the towns in the rural areas, how small they are, right? Selling hybrid and GMO seeds. And I went to the lady and said, do you know what you're selling? She said, I really don't care. I sell the products. I don't know what happens after. I said, it will come to you.
Wow.
It will come to you. If you're selling this to the people, it will come to you. And I left.
Wow.
But that was her attitude. I'm just selling. I said, and my mom has been pushing this, and we'll get into that. The people in the local spaces, my mom, all the moms are pushing this in their local way, talking to their friends, telling them, they say in my language, don't buy the seeds of the bag. That's how they're saying it, right? Because you can't even know, as long as it's packaged, don't buy it. That's what they're pushing. Don't buy packaged seeds.
That's nice. That's a good thing.
Right? Yeah. So
say more about that. Talk more about that.
So
That's
because
what's happening in your village.
yes. So my mom, the way she's telling her friends is let's not buy the seeds of the package, right? Because you don't know if it's hybrid, and you can't start explain to the people what GMO is, you've lost them. So it's as simple as don't buy the seed of the package. Let's start saving our seeds ourselves and sharing them.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
So you talked about the farmers and what you're doing. How is that going? How is it being received on the ground? How are the farmers receiving this work that you're doing?
Let me tell you, even before we got into this space to come, the rate of cancers in Kenya, oh my goodness. The rate of cancers from my community, the Meru community, is so high. Then NTV actually did an expose or a feature story of Kenyatta National Hospital cancer ward. They actually speak in Kimeru because the entire ward was from Meru. So they actually were doing an expose.
Wow.
And give the context. Give the context of why Meru. Why Meru? What in Kenya is particular about the Meru community?
When you come to the areas of Mount Kenya, which is where I come from, I'm a Meru, to those sides of is it the east or the west? It's the eastern side of Mount Kenya. Beyond Meru, you go to Timau. Timau it's an area, Nanyuki, that's where they do largest production of potato farming. And potatoes, and of course, as you come down, it's like you're moving towards the ocean. It's like this. So Timau is up here and you're coming down. So all the rivers up here will come down towards Meru, Tharaka, Sagana, all the way to the ocean. So the story is, or is it the narrative is, excessive use of chemicals like Roundup. There are 3 chemicals that I know farmers have been using excessively. But what happens? Those chemicals are washed into the rivers.
Yep.
When they're washed into the rivers, those are the rivers we fetch water from. Even when we have water projects, they pump water from the rivers.
Yep.
So that's the water people are consuming. And let me tell you, there is a craze in Kenya, even before, I would say, 2023, this government coming in, Kenyans want to eat good food now.
Yeah.
You go to a hotel, people want kienyeji chicken. People no longer eat any chicken. So, because of the health issues, every single home. Now, I talked about Mount Kenya area. Go to Uasin Gishu. They suffer from esophagus cancer, a lot of them. Another thing to note there, there's a lot of, is it called throat cancer, esophagus? A lot of those, it's a pandemic. So out of, it's a crisis in this country. So out of those things, Kenyans want to step away from badly produced foods. They want to step away from fast foods. They want to eat organic food. And nowadays you find many people even in the backyards, they're planting vegetables. They want to produce their food. They want to go to the posho mill and make their own unga, So you see, when you look at the population is hungering and thirsting for good food.
Yeah.
So that, and looking at what, I'm sorry to say, Gates is doing, because basically everything that is happening in Kenya, and to the extent in Africa, is a Gates project.
Yes, it is a Gavi Foundation project.
Yes. And the money in this organization is huge.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I go to media houses. When I approach media houses to go and speak about GMO, they tell me, oh, Mary, this issue of seeds is sensitive. Oh,
They've been paid.
The ones that agreed to host me, they tell me, yesterday we had a guy from Agra here.
Yes.
So they poured money in the media. They want to sway the public perception about the GMOs and what. So they are very good in what they do. Okay? So they want to sway the public's opinion on what is this thing all about. And they'll tell you, we want to improve food security in Kenya, in Africa. or they call our seeds, the indigenous seeds is a word I saw. They are calling our seeds counterfeit seeds. That's what they call indigenous seeds.
How dare they?
They call it, and today I've learned something from Duko. We need to do away with those packaged seeds. I am so happy when I hear that.
Mm.
So when you look, the population has a hunger and a thirst for good food. So when you tell people I'm producing good food, people want to come to you. I have people in my inbox every day. Where can I get indigenous seeds? I want traditional beans. What people want to plant.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm actually happy to hear that. The awareness is growing. I'm happy to hear that.
The awareness is growing. And you know, let me my brother said something, and you know, when you look at this is a pyramid, down here is a base. When you look at the pyramid, the population is at the base of the pyramid. The powers that be, you know, keep going up and up and up. And now that our governments have been taken over, what do? You pull the population, because it's the base of the pyramid. You pull the population and the pyramid is going to collapse.
Yes,
we are supposed to be the consumers. We're supposed to consume the poison. We are supposed to be the implementers, or actually the consumers of every evil plan they have. So what do? As much as we are fighting in court and bearing in mind we find our governments have been taken over, we want to educate the population to pull them away from the pyramid so the pyramid can literally collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually love what you're saying there. Is basically when we're talking about solutions, and me and Nduku talk about this all the time. It's about the grassroots, getting to the people that matter the most. That's basically where the revolution starts. And once the people are awakened and they understand how the system, like I said, the pyramid works, absolutely, it will fall apart. And based on what you just said there, I'm actually encouraged to hear that, because you're not my Nigerian brothers and sisters. Just listen to what our sister's saying. We Nigerians we haven't even started yet. We haven't. We basically we don't want to get to where Kenya is in terms of the cancer rates. So yeah, this is the work that we need to do.
But guess what? You've started through us. You have started through us. If you see this as an African project as a whole,
it is.
Then
it is.
You know, you celebrate it, because Kenya starting is you starting.
Yeah, I am encouraged to hear it. I'm encouraged. You
have another question before we go for another one, Oladile?
No, yeah, carry on. You got another question? No, yeah, I was just listening. I was listening intently, man. So I'm learning. I'm actually learning from you, Kathomi. I'm actually learning from you today, man, because I'm hearing a completely different perspective from what I've heard before. So yeah, I'm just listening and learning.
The work on the ground, and I'll say to everyone who's listening, if you want to know what's happening in Kenya, go to the Twitter Spaces. That's where real Kenyans. And in those Twitter Spaces, there are some who've been co-opted, who've been paid. I mean, this is a serious war we are at. So there are some who are coming there doing the agenda of the neo-colonialist and the imperialist, but that's where you will find the true Kenyans and what they are fighting for, and how they truly feel about what's going on. Kathomi, you mentioned, and I say this all the time. So when I talk to people and they tell me they're still gonna grow GMO because they need to survive and all that, I say, listen, just pray to God I'm not the farmer next to you, because I'm gonna burn your plants. Because what I understand is your plants are going to affect all the plants in that. So talk about that. You mentioned it slightly when you talked about the maize. How, like, it's not just, and this is where Ubuntu comes in. I am because you are. What I do affects you. What you do affects me. So this is not a matter of Nduku, people can't do what you think they want, what you want them to do. People can do what they, no. This is, GMO is not a matter of I can do what I want to do. You cannot. Because if one person plants GMO, that whole area is going to be affected. So please talk about that, how GMO plants change the genetic structure of organic plants.
The effects of GMO, Nduku, are, I don't know where to start.
Yeah, let's talk about all of them. Start and go slowly.
First of all, specifically, you know, maize was not our indigenous plant or meal, but we co-opted it after colonization. Maize comes from Mexico, and Mexico has had indigenous maize. Then they have through America, they share border. They legalized GMOs years back, and you can imagine Mexico has banned GMOs maize as we are speaking because of the effects.
Yeah, they have.
They banned it.
Yeah.
And the science of GMO comes from America. 1960 something. It's an American technology.
Yep.
And the entire Europe has banned GMO.
Yep.
Let's just not talk about Russia, where you're going to go to jail if you produce, you bring in anything, you go to jail.
Exactly.
The entire Europe, not one country has legalized GMO because of the effects. And let me tell you something. What God has.
Oh, that's not her signal being lost, is it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait. We'll wait. Kathomi, if you can hear us, your signal was just disconnected. We'll wait for you to come back on. Let me just let her know quickly.
Yeah, so based on what the sister's saying, and this is basically to every African, and the topic today is like, Kenyans say no to GMO seeds. What I'll say is every African needs to push back on GMO seeds, because these GMO seeds are detrimental. You know, we're talking about cancer rate. Cancer rate is growing in Africa. You know, in the past, they used to call it Aronyibo. It's basically a white man's disease. That's what they used to call cancer. Because Africans never knew about cancer. So I remember my forefathers, my grandfather, my mom used to call it Aronyibo, which is basically a white man's disease.
Yeah.
But now, since we Africans have started eating the processed European food and they keep importing it to us, now the cancer rate is going up. So what does that tell you? And the fallout is this: our health centers are basically not the best. And this is always my worry. Our health centers are not the best.
And that also, by the way, and that also is an effect of imperialism through IMF.
Imagine. Yeah. So with all that, obviously, like Nduku said, it's all part of the neo-colonial takeover. You know, basically they were already there, but now they're giving us their foods, which are detrimental, and then they basically control everything. So imagine cancer, and then they're gonna start selling you drugs.
That's the goal.
It becomes a value chain
to get
for them,
so that
to get you hooked.
Customer.
So this is basically why we Africans need to start thinking deeply. And I'll say this, and I'm very, very unapologetic about what I'm about to say now. When you see Oyibo, see evil. This is where I'm at in my thinking. When I see them, I see evil, because they've never, you know, I'm nearly 60 now. And in my lifetime, I've never seen them do anything that's ever going to benefit Africans. It's never happened. People always talk about they brought this, they brought that. Yeah, they did. But what's the end goal? To benefit them. Maybe you benefit a few bits here and there. You know, you just benefit a few bits, but it was not for you. All you got is crumbs. So Africans, and I say this, and I'm going to keep saying this from the rooftop. When you see anything you see about the West in Africa, it's not for Africa's benefit. It's never because imagine cancer. Cancer's growing in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Kenya now. They have the highest cancer rate in the world. Yeah. Guys, where did it come from? We never had this. And when we have this kind of conversation, I get angry because I can see what they're doing. Yeah. And the sad thing is that we Africans at home we keep welcoming evil, thinking they are coming to help you. Muzungu has never cared about you. Look at history. Yeah. So if we want to get rid of cancer rates, we need to go back to nature. You know, the way our creator made it. We Africa protected this before they came. Anything from them, what they do is they destroy nature to make money. If you look at the habits and how Oyinbo moves, they go against nature. They don't want anything. They don't want any natural thing. They basically want to co-opt nature, basically commodify and make money from it. This is how they move. So we Africans need to actually start seeing this. Stop being, stop being proud to being proximity to evil.
Yeah.
Because most of you, your proximity to whiteness is basically what defines you.
Yep.
But your proximity to whiteness or proximity to caucasity is evil. They will never, and they've never ever been there. to benefit Africans. And if you hear me, you can quote me, and I'm saying it unapologetically. Oyinbo, Muzungu has never been our friends, and they will never be our friends because they're here to kill us. And we need to start waking up, guys. My sister,
Mary,
welcome back.
I'm glad you said that, Oladele. Mary, you were about to talk about the effects. We're gonna get back to that. But before we do, because of what Oladele said, I'm gonna read something quick. This is from Urugu. Urugu is a book written by Marimba Ani. If you can get a hold of that book, I will put the title in the comments and we'll put it up. Urugu, Yurugu. You must read that book if you're an African who wants to understand who we are dealing with and how they move. I'm going to read quickly a part of the book. The ideology of progress is but an expression of this utamaroho. It is predicated on the destruction of a harmonious, organic order and seeks to replace it with a rational and mechanical one. This ideology proffers a goal that can never be realized, for the sake of which human beings consume as they destroy. Technological rationalization and exploitative capitalistic enterprise are the social activities correlated with this ideology and the utamaroho that created it. Global imperialism, in brackets, the destruction and consumption or reordering of other cultures, close brackets, is the form of intercultural behavior the utamaroho demands. The syntax of universalism is the ideological and cognitive manifestation of this expansionistic utamaroho. She goes on to say, to control, in quotes, for this utamaroho means to render passive. Once a thing, person, or culture can be acted upon at will by the European self, the ego, that self is considered to have expanded. So expansionism is the increase of its domain. Hence, the European concept of power is the ability to manipulate and control, to make passive as an agent of change. It is power over, not power through. And I'm going to explain that quickly. Power over, not power through. Power over means whoever you are dealing with, you're controlling them. Power through means that we all get power through each other. You all understand that? Europeans don't move in power through. This business of you're being told we are partners, that's a lie. You're not partners. They always power over. She continues to say the last bit, and then we'll talk about effects and talk about what she's saying, right? Because I had a question that's going to speak to this after you talk about the effects. European culture unfolds as a series of, number one, definitions in which the world is consistently and on every level divided into the conquering self and the controllable other. And number two, mechanisms by which the self is assured emotional remoteness from the dominated object. This is the origin of the impersonalism. Diamond recognizes, and Rozak has called it the alienating. Hold on, let me start that over. Mechanisms by which this self is assured emotional remoteness from the dominated object. This is the origin of the impersonalism Diamond recognizes, and Rozak has called the alienating dichotomy. The cognitive self is split into that which controls and that which is or should be controlled. And this projects into a self-image in which the Europeans become the destroying saviors. You got that? Destroying saviors? Others are simply imagined to be like the part of themselves that is to be controlled, that part of themselves that is object. Just as they must not allow themselves to be defined by that irrational emotional part of themselves, seeking always to decrease its potential, so the culture as a whole gains power by denying these others the capacity for self-definition. Since all spirituality conflicts with the European concept of power, again, Africans listen. Since all spirituality conflicts with the European concept of power, the possibility of spirit threatens its achievement. On a personal level, this makes love relationships even conceptually problematic, since love and power, as they are understood in the West, are opposites. Love representing loss of self and therefore of control, while power demands control of self and emotional remoteness. So when you have a people like that, how do you use power to reach to them? How do you use reason? They don't love you. They can't identify with love.
Never have.
So Kathomi, talk about the effects of GMO.
Thank you, Nduko. People do not understand even the reason why we have even the GMO technology in the first place. We take what God has given us, everything, like we take it in our hands, you hand that over, all our indigenous seeds, you hand that over to one person. And that person you're giving that power is so evil, deeply evil. They have actually confessed 1,010,000 times. They actually want to exterminate you.
Yes.
Yep.
They don't hide it. They don't hide it.
Nope.
They talk about it all over. They tell you they are going to exterminate you. We have science documents that shows GMO can be engineered in the lab to target, like, say, a blackmail.
Yep.
At that level. Like, that food on the table will target a blackmail, and they will eliminate or make a blackmail impotent, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
Because you're giving power to a person who will be so happy to see you exterminated from this planet. And that is the secrets countries like Russia have. They know these things. GMO, and you have to realize with the spirited campaign of transgenderism and LGBTQ, people do not know this is actually engineered in food. Men are having women tendencies. Men they're pumping women hormones in men, and these evil people have something on men, not even women, on men, and the African men. They would be so happy to eliminate the African man, because this is a source of seed. This is the source of life. And our poor African countries, I keep asking myself, they don't know these things. They don't hear these things. These things are not secrets. They are on the streets. Everyone is talking about them. They are even talked about even in big, like, World Economic Forum meetings, WHO meetings. You will hear these statements on the podium. And the guys in Africa, let me say, countries in Africa that have GMO right now, they're not many. And they're like Ethiopia, there's Kenya. I have a document somewhere.
Nigeria joined in 2024, 25. Nigeria joined.
They did?
Yeah, they have. Tinubu passed the bill. We had a program about this. Yeah, 2024, he did.
Yeah.
They joined it.
He did. For
he
Tinubu,
was there. You should have seen the video. Bill Gates was there and Nigerians.
It was there. Not long after he was there, and then they approved it. And we had a big campaign in Nigeria about this, but Nigeria's on the list now.
Wow. So I think I don't know why. The last time I did a write-up, I had like 9 countries. I had Kenya, I had Rwanda, I had Ethiopia, a couple of countries, South Africa. But South Africa, they have a court ruling that was banning, and there's a bit of restriction there. But South Africans have had it since time immemorial.
Yeah, they had it for a while, yeah.
Because
Zimbabwe has it.
Zimbabwe has it. And a couple of those countries, the GMO seed production that they have is the BT cotton. So they said cotton is not food. So let's allow GMO, the BT cotton, which is GMO cotton, to increase cotton production. And BT cotton in Kenya has been legal for more than 12 years. But the communities that grow that cotton, which is the Nyanza region, have actually become poorer. And they're actually
of course.
That production never went up, and they've been given loans to buy the chemicals too. So production didn't go up. You have a bank loan to pay, which you've been given to grow. So the farmers became more and more poor.
Yeah. And Nyanza is where we have tilapia. So imagine how that is affecting the production of tilapia.
Yes.
The chemicals.
Yes. So the effects. I've not even talked about the effects of this on the body. You know, our stomach has an enzyme, a digestive enzyme. We are nature, flora, fauna. We relate. You know, you relate with nature. We are just created to be in nature. Your body can only digest what is produced naturally.
By nature.
Your body does not have the mechanism. That's why your body cannot digest something like plastic.
Yeah.
Because it goes to your body, it's repelled. Our bodies do not have the ability of digesting GMO food. That's where cancer comes in. It's an alien thing in our bodies. So this is an effect on the human body. In GMO as it is, they say that fine, increase food production to repel insects. That's the reason for having GMO, repel insects, so that we don't use insecticides. But no one is answering the question that the insect is being repelled, okay, by a genome that has been changed. What happens to the human body?
The same effect it has on the insect. How is that going to affect the human body?
Thank you.
Sorry,
so you see, there are a lot of things they don't tell us. And I saw them in court. They were doing an argument, and they said, the stalk borer. There's this insect called the stalk borers that affect the maize. They said GMO is going to repel that in particular, and they presented a lot of science documents, and they are not
a lot of rubbish.
Let me tell you, I've not even talked about the effect on the soil.
No, go on.
Yes.
Talk about it all.
There's an effect. GMO has an effect on the soil. It's poisoning the soil, my dear.
Yep.
After you plant a GMO crop, that soil will not sustain anything indigenous after that.
Because it kills the bacteria. It kills the living organisms in the soil.
Yes.
Yeah.
It completely messes the soil.
Yep.
So imagine for what they are calling, and I find it is just pure gimmick, what they are calling food security, whatever nonsense the agri people come and say. It's a lie. It's purely a lie. It's not going to improve our food production. It's going to compromise our health. It is going to affect the environment. And when you sit and ask yourself, Nduko, what do we need to increase food production? We need factors of production together. We need seed, we need water, we need soil, we need labor, we need good weather. So these people have just sat down and made a decision about one factor of production, which is seed. They didn't talk about water, they didn't talk about the weather, they didn't talk about labor. So why are they so interested with one factor of production to increase, in quotes, food production? Yet they're not tackling all the other factors of production. That's hypocrisy.
Question.
So even when I go to the media houses and I speak, I ask them, has this government built like 2 or 3 dams to supplement for the failed rainfall?
Exactly.
Then we would say, we have the water, let's do irrigation. Has the government subsidized on farm inputs? They are taxing like crazy. Agriculture is heavily taxed. They tax.
Why?
IMF. Go on, Kathomi. IMF.
Let me tell you, if you're a farmer, you're farming onions in Kenya.
Yeah.
1 kilogram of Neptune seed will cost you more than 45,000 Kenya shillings. Yes, the seed.
That's $450.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
On that 45,000, half is tax.
What?
Yes, half of that money goes to the tax.
Wow.
So assuming these governments and these people who talk about food security was really genuine, they would just zero rate taxes on anything in agriculture.
Yeah, which is what they do in the US.
Food, even in the UK, food is subsidized. The farmers are subsidized heavily
to do the farming.
Yep.
Yes.
And when I look at that insincerity, when they talk about increasing food, you can literally see. And I'm hoping our brother Oladele, someone has gone to court in Nigeria. I'm just hoping there's someone who's going to fight.
We've had a few people push back. There was a press conference. I know a guy they're doing what they can, but it's the
But
pushback, just like you said.
My brother and sister, we are Pan-Africanists. Now that we have connected with you, Kathomi, we are going to connect you with the brothers and sisters in Nigeria. We'll make sure that you all are talking. And
I think you guys can talk.
That you can coordinate how you're working, what strategies you're using to win for the cases you're winning. But we need to make this Africa.
I will connect you with a brother, and obviously Rutendo as well. He's doing the same. He's doing the work as well. Rutendo Matinyarere, you know him from Zimbabwe. Yeah. I got a So he's linked up with the Nigerian guys.
Tread lightly on that, but we can speak later about that. Go on.
I want to tell you that they want to take over Africa, and if they succeed, there are 4 countries. There is Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt.
Egypt, that's it. Those 4 countries,
They conquer those 4 countries, they'll conquer the continent.
Yes.
And the biggest of them all is Kenya.
And it's interesting because John Perkins mentions them in Confessions of an Economic, in the new one, The Secret History of American Empire. He mentions that his boss tells him that those are the targeted nations. He names them.
But something I love about Kenyans, I appreciate Kenyans every day, is a spirit to fight.
Yep.
Yes.
Kenyans, like I'm telling you, we are in court, we are fighting. Sometimes, and truth be told, our judiciary is actually a good judiciary. We are very sane judges. Because I've been sitting through the court hearings. I'm really encouraged by the direction this case is taking. And don't forget, when the case started, we had a court order that banned production of GMO maize. So right now in Kenya, there's no production until this case is heard.
Nice.
So there was a court order that banned production of the BT. They had developed 2 varieties of BT maize. That they had started, and now I really love what Nduko. I'm happy to be here. I loved what you said about your mom. I think we are going to package it as a slogan that do not buy packaged seeds at all.
Mbegu za mfuko, msinunue mbegu za mfuko.
Mbegu za mfuko, we
Grandma will understand that.
Exactly. We need to push that as a campaign, because now we can differentiate between the hybrids and the GMOs. So mbegu za mfuko, no one should buy them.
And let me tell you why that's important too, Kathomi. In the United States, the Congress of the United States passed a law that allows GMOs to be labeled as organic. I'm going to send you that information later, So because Microsoft is registered in the United States, and because of how he can do that in Kenya without being penalized.
Oh my.
Yeah, he can send bags that are saying organic, but they don't I'm telling you, it is time to go back to the traditional way of doing things in all essence, because capitalism will kill us. And it is not a system to be trusted. Because today, and think about who we're talking, which is why I took time to read that thing by Mama Arimba, that part from the book Yorugu. Think about this. We're talking about a people who are not to be trusted, a people who are devoid of humanity, that love that we're talking about.
They don't have it. They don't have it.
No, they have no soul.
Power is so, it's such a drag that they will do anything to retain it. So let's say today Africa says no GMO. Do you think that Bill Gates will give up and go back and rest? And
No.
They never give up. They never give up.
So that it looks like the thing you have allowed. So you will all be buying seeds that are saying organic, but guess what? They are GMO. So the thing to do as Africans is to completely detach from the imperialists, because we have learned that we cannot trust them. Continue,
We can't trust them.
Continue speaking about the effects.
And let me tell you, this is so exciting. Like if you look at what the seed savers are doing, we have chapters now like in Kakamega, Bungoma. We have small chapters of seed savers. Where farmers are coming together. They're building what we used traditionally. We had those names in our traditional, languages, whereby we would save seeds, And let me tell you, we have to win whichever way. If we don't win in court, we win on the people. We have to put a spirited campaign and win on the people. It is common knowledge that here in Kenya, the maize that is heavily, we import a lot of maize. Politicians are importing a lot of maize. All the maize we are consuming in this country is actually GMO maize, imported. that's not a secret. So Kenyans are consuming a lot of GMOs. Bila kujua. Because no one, when they import, they don't label. I remember before Raila Odinga passed on, there was a huge consignment of maize that had a lot of aflatoxin. And the guy who tried to stop the sale of that maize was literally, they did away with him. That is how greedy, that's how the love of money and having no regard to life.
Capitalism.
Capitalism is a cancer. It's just a cancer in this. And when you look
in the whole world,
I think it's even worse in Africa. Oh my goodness, our leaders were just. I remember I was in court 2 weeks ago, and these big bosses, the government bosses, they have money like crazy. You can see the money. You can see they have crazy money. And he tells me, "Why are you fighting?" And I'm in a T-shirt branded, "No GMO." "Why are you fighting GMO?" And we're on the corridors of the court. Then I ask him, God gave us seeds. So you want us to take those seeds and hand over to one person. Then he told me, which person? Okay, let's assume we're not handing over the seeds to one person. We are handing over the seeds to a corporation. And even you're handing not over to a corporation, to a subsidiary, they hide themselves. You'll never know. Once you get to know who they are here, they have another subsidiary, a company owning a company. You'll never figure them out. Yeah. But now we know how they come from.
They operate. Yeah.
And he looked at me and smiled. He walked off, and I walked off. And if you ask me, Kenyans are waking up.
Yes.
Kenyans are waking up. Even when you go to the market, people are no longer looking for the bigger vegetable. They're looking for, they loved the bigger orange, the bigger vegetable.
Yeah.
Now they want the normal looking vegetable.
Yes.
Because if an insect didn't like that vegetable, why should you like it?
Yes.
That is something that was taught to us by a doctor. She said, do not reject the plant, the skuma, the colored green that has been eaten by the insect. That is the sign that it is healthy.
That it's been there. It's healthy. Yes. It's like my mother. My mom loves beans, and she always has to pick the weasels out of the beans. That means that's healthy beans. But if there's none in it, that means that the chemicals have basically repelled the whole thing. It's not good for you.
Very worried if the insects are not eating your food.
Yes.
Exactly. It's a danger. And what GMOs are we having in Kenya right now? The Kenya Biosafety Agency, and that's the agency under the Ministry of Agriculture that is sort of doing the research and releasing of these seeds. They've released 2 GMOs. They've released GMO sweet potatoes in Kenya.
Yep.
And they've released GMOs cassava tubers.
Yep.
They are now in the market.
That's worrying.
Yep. Yes. Those already have been released by the Kenya Biosafety Agency. And let me tell you, it just breaks my heart. These people want to come for us like, I don't know. I have done a lot of research about these people, and I agree with you, Nduko. There's something not human about these people. There's something not human about them.
They're not human. And this is basically what we Africans do not understand. When you see Muzungu, when you see Oyinbo, you need to run. But in Africa today, we welcome them. This white Jesus mentality syndrome, the white Jesus thing, is basically they could do no wrong. But they are devil incarnate on our continent. And we Africans need to know who our enemies are. Me and Nduku talk about this on the podcast all the time. You need to know that we're at war. You need to know your enemies. And anything that comes from them, you cannot accept. They Africans, wake up.
We need to wake up, because the things I have learned in this process, I'm telling you, because the amount of money that has been poured through Agra in Africa, it's crazy money. In the media, in the courts, in the world, it's crazy money. Only to push GMOs in these countries.
Imagine.
That's their agenda.
This is what people should understand. If they're pushing so much money in it, what's the end game? What are they after?
You guys don't even understand what that money does. In Nigeria, that money paid terrorists to kill farmers.
Yes.
Like, yes.
Yeah, Boko Haram.
No, there's no proof, but allegedly, that's what the money has done.
Allegedly, but you know, even if they said it, even an American senator basically said it, that they fund they fund the insurgencies in Nigeria.
Yeah. So they were killing farmers who are trying to fight GMO.
They push people off the lands. They're pushing people off the land for that reason. They deliberately created the insurgencies to push people off the land.
Yeah. So this is not just like, and okay, and this is the question I was gonna say, right? This is where I was going to go, because now we are talking about, and before you talked about the propaganda, how Bill Gates and the whatever organization he has pays the media to send this message. Are we educating our grandmothers, our brothers and sisters back in the village? Are we educating them about this side of who we are dealing with, who they really are, so that when they hear something in the news, they know, huyo ni mzungu anaongea ni uongo? Like, are we doing that on the ground? And how can we move up to doing that? What can we here do to because listen, Kathomi, if you have a place where you can gather people for a town hall, you put a projector, I'm willing to come and talk to them and have sessions to tell them about, to read Yorugu, a page of Yorugu.
Grassroots.
To show videos of them themselves saying who they are, to read from their own books where they tell us who they are and what they've done, to read from medical apartheid, the testing they did on Black people here in America. So how can we all come together to do that? What is being done? Because that's the thing that we need to teach our people, because that's where they're being caught up. That Western media, Western people, and our own people who are hired by these Western entities are not to be trusted at all.
At all. At all. The people, our people, like Oladele said, don't understand who these people are. Because after 2024, the demonstrations, of course, we had a bit of success with those demonstrations. They also had a campaign to vaccinate all animals.
Yep.
Yes, I saw
remember.
That.
That's crazy.
Succession.
And let me tell you, we thank God for social media. Do not underrate social media. I was the first to highlight, to tell Kenyans, do not vaccinate your animals.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that flopped. That flopped. It didn't succeed.
Yep.
Kenyans refused to vaccinate their animals because people, Kenyans are trying. Let me say this: since the COVID jabs, Kenyans have woken up.
Yeah.
Kenyans have woken up. So people are asking, you want to vaccinate? They were talking like 15 million animals, all cows, all goats, all sheep. What disease are you vaccinating them against? Exactly. They were not even clear, you know? So I'm seeing a lot of hope in Ndukum for the people like us who have put our lives out there to be the voices, to be
especially you on the ground with what's happening with activists in Kenya.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We should not give up because we are getting wins, small wins. They are there.
Yeah,
they're there. Farmers are coming together. Farmers now are no longer buying packaged seeds. People are talking to each other. People are forming small organizations amongst themselves. You find people that are planting indigenous maize, and they say, I'm planting indigenous maize. Nice. I'll pack it for you. I'll put it in a courier. Exactly. Like I buy maize from Kisumu.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't give up. And there's someone who noted on all the invasions of continents in the world, America was a red Indian who are actually sort of dark people like us.
Yeah.
But they literally exterminated people from that continent.
Of course. That's what they do. Australia,
they exterminated the Aboriginals in Australia.
Yes.
They've not succeeded in exterminating the Africans.
But they can't. They won't succeed because they're trying, but they will never succeed.
They have tried.
Oh, they're trying, but they're not going to succeed.
The pushback. There's a lot of pushback, and people are waking up. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep networking. Let's keep enlightened. Let's go to court. It doesn't matter. Let's just, and people say, when I go to court, am I going to win? The judiciary is bought.
Doesn't matter.
Just go to court. Just go to court.
Yeah.
Even the step of going to court and fighting and arguing your case in the dock is a good step. Because a lot of things are coming to light.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things are coming to light with these things. So and out of this information that we keep sharing, we keep talking about these things. And the push on the other side, people are like, why are you so interested in this thing? Why are you so interested in seed? Why are you not interested in building a dam? You know, why are you interested in the seed in particular? And you know, Nduko, in Kenya, you know, parastatals are being privatized. And the government is selling a lot of parastatals to raise what they are calling
IMF.
the infrastructure bond.
IMF.
You know, we've already sold off the Kenya pipeline.
IMF.
Which is the biggest infrastructure of oil in this country.
Yep.
Amongst the parastatals up for sale is Kenya Seed Company.
Yep.
Wow.
So you legalize GMO on one side, you pass a law called the Kenya the Seed Plants and Varieties Act on another side. You sponsor like 20 bills on agriculture. And then you sell Kenya Seed Company.
Send it to them.
Of course, of course. They'll come and you know when in the height of the Gen Z demonstrations 2024, they'd actually listed in the Kenya Stock Exchange. BlackRock was listed.
Yep.
Of course.
Kenyans
BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard.
Yeah.
Imagine in the Kenyan Stock Exchange.
They withdrew quickly. They pulled out because Kenyans are like this, you know, and they withdrew, and I'm sure they didn't go away. They just came in a subsidiary. You'll never know the subsidiary.
BlackRock has changed its name like you change underwear.
Yeah, and like you said, those three countries stay the same, but they have so many different subsidiaries that you would not know who is who. So, but they will never go away. Muzungu will never go away. They never play to win to lose.
No, they never do. And you know the problem is because we are always catering to them. Oh, lakini hiyo ni racism. Ukifanya hivyo nduko, you're being racist nduko. You're being you're discriminating nduko. Do you know that statement that you made before about the food being engineered to change our men's biological structure? I brought that up in a room where apparently these people were revolutionaries, but clearly they're not revolutionary enough. Yeah. They came down on me and attacked me. I said, because they were complaining about Burkina Faso and the fact that Burkina Faso is banning LGBTQI+. And the thing that I'm trying to explain is you have a leader who wants to protect his people. He is seeing that something is not right with this thing that you're calling LGBTQ+. He's not saying that he's not necessarily saying he's going to criminalize or kill people or anything. He just understands that something is not right with this system and the way it's moving, right? Why can't we as a people not sit down and talk about that and investigate? And I said to my colleagues in that space, I said, if anything, if we are truly revolutionaries, then we should push for opening our own laboratories where we're going to start looking at these seeds and these vaccines so that we can break them down and see what is in them.
You know, like what Dr. Wahoma Ngari did with those vaccines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because you cannot be out here because you're a member of LGBTQ+, talking about we can't have that conversation. You're hateful, Nduko, but our people are dying. I'm not going to entertain your nonsense, your emotional nonsense. Because guess what? What I'm allowing you is to live. You can live here with us. You can do what you want to do, but we are going to have this conversation so that we can organize, so that we can build against this threat that is facing our people. The problem with us is emotional sensitivity and weakness. We are
and that's what they use against us.
Emotional comfort that we can't even be logical about. This is a threat to us. I am a member of the LGBTQ community, but I want to know what is happening if this is actually being put in food. That's what you should do if you're revolutionary.
But you got to question everything. And once you know how the enemies move, once you know how they move, you got to question everything. This is how we three of us got here.
I don't know why we ignore our history, or maybe not ignore our history. Our history is whitewashed. So the history that we think is history is not actually the history. When they came into the African continent and, of course, subdivided in different countries. For example, when they came in the areas of Nyeri, they brought in smallpox.
In blankets.
They're the ones who brought in smallpox. When they found a community that they could not subdue, they brought a disease to subdue the community. The warriors, the Maasais, were the warriors of this region, the Mount Kenya region. Actually, the Maasais stopped a lot of slave trade. Actually, Kenyan people, most were not traded as slaves because of the Maasai. The Maasais fought. Even today, the Maasais are known. What did they do to the Maasais? They brought in syphilis and gonorrhea.
Yep.
Because in the Maasai community, in the customs, Maasais shared women. Until today,
Yeah. Like if in Maasai community, if I'm married to a woman, I'm a man, speaking as a man. If I'm married to a woman, another man can sleep with a woman. Like tomorrow I come and she has a spear at the door, that's okay. That's their culture. So
long as in the same age group,
age group, yes.
They brought in the syphilis and gonorrhea and literally almost wiped up the Maasai community. They brought HIV, but we don't seem to connect.
No.
They brought HIV.
People don't get it. People don't get it. They don't get it. And there's so much on social media that says how they put AIDS in Africa.
Yeah.
But they even talk about it themselves. So it's not conspiracy. It's they tell you how we vaccinated in South Africa, we vaccinated in Congo, and how we brought in HIV. In vaccines. We've because they brainwashed us so much, we've not been able to connect. We cannot describe their character trait. That this person did this year, they will still do the same thing. So now we've fallen in love with our killers. Literally,
our oppressors.
We worship them. It's not even literally they are worse than oppressors. So when Gates says publicly he's going to do population control by vaccination, what does that mean?
Extermination.
It's extermination. Right now, is the biggest funder in the MOH, in the Ministry of Health here in Kenya, is the biggest funder. What is he doing?
What is he doing?
He's pushing vaccines that are lists. Nothing else.
So imagine the conflict of interest that a U.S. private organization is funding a Kenyan governmental body that is supposed to look out for Kenyan people.
Look out for our interests. So they're basically compromised. They're basically doing the bidding of the oppressor, of the infiltrator.
Not just that. The man who runs that organization, there's a live video of him saying he thinks we Africans should be reduced in population. We, not them. We.
There's a history of eugenics. If people don't know, go do some research on eugenics control. That is basically there. Don't forget our last guest. What's his name? The Kissinger report. Kathomi. It's in the Kissinger report.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna share another book, Medical Apartheid, that everyone, if you can get it, and we are going to figure out how to get these books. Like I said, the one I was going to mention before, this is Bible. If you're a Christian, and I'm not sorry to say this, I am not, because I understand what Christianity has done to our people. It is a threat. And I am moving through logic, not emotions, right? If you are a Christian, put down your Bible and pick up How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney.
Walter Rodney, yeah. It's a
Bible. Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. And every company that he names in that book, go to Google and search what it is called now, and you'll see the trace of how many names it has changed to what it is now.
Wow.
Yeah. They don't hide stuff.
That have drained Africa. And I said this all the time. You cannot afford the book? Okay. Kumbukeni has episodes of me reading the whole book thanks to Mama Patricia Rodney. She let us read the book. So, Kathomi, I'll share those with you so that you can share with people so that they start seeing this information.
And also, on our website as well, I've got a PDF copy on our website. You can easily go there, download it. It's there. We put it there.
And we are at the point where, as far as the PDFs, this is our lives we are protecting. We have no time to start worrying about, oh, is this the right way to do this? No. This is a war we are at. So we are getting the tools of war however we can, so that we can empower our people. So quickly talk about, because it was asked here by the audience, how can we work with Kenyans on the ground?
We actually need a lot of support. We need to be, like when you have a microphone, you need an amplifier to amplify this voice.
Yes.
One of the things is we would want to have as many lawsuits as possible. Okay, we would want, like now, I'm here thinking, we need to have a lawsuit against the sweet potato and the cassava tubers, the GMO tubers that have been released. We need a lawsuit on that to be specifically. Okay. To do these lawsuits, it costs money. So we would want the farmers, we give what we have, and a person gives their time, another one gives their money. You give what you have. And let me tell you, this is urgent. We need to amplify this information. We need to be screaming every day, not just on social media, on radio stations, like having a jigsaw small radio. Most of the rural people will be on radio.
Yes.
We need small shows, talking against GMOs, talking against, we need to sweep the entire population away from these evil people. And as we're fighting in court, we need that. So if we could get a way to get even funders to do a public campaign, that's one. A public campaign, translate this to local languages, go to the Kamba, go to the Luo, go to the Meru, like a public campaign against GMOs. And then on one side, we are also having lawsuits against this, and I like the spirit of Kenyans. That's what actually keeps me going, because Kenyans will fight. Kenyans will fight. Even when they're down, Kenyans will fight. Like we can have lawsuits here, and the government is going to get overwhelmed. They will. Yeah. If we don't, they'll get overwhelmed. And we are doing that simultaneously. We are challenging laws that have been passed that are not. The good thing, we have a very good constitution. Very good constitution. Our constitution is supreme, is the law of the land. So it doesn't matter whatever bills they sponsor in parliament, so long as it is inconsistent to our constitution, it's null and void. We have people that are so willing to put themselves out there and fight, and we have to fight. We are damned if we do, we're damned if we don't.
Exactly.
So I say, let's come together, more so even the Kenyans in their diaspora, whatever we can do, let's just go out there and go for them, because we're not getting what we're literally not going to get what we want on the ballot. Let's get it in court. Let's get it. Let's sweep the population away from these tyrants. Let's pull the population away. So this would require a media campaign, would require court processes, and we have to do it.
Does Kilimo Cha Haki have a website?
Yeah,
no, we don't have a website.
I'm thinking that's the first thing we do, because again, the person is also asking, share some organizations we can support, and how we can help with public campaign, and then how do we purchase organic fruits and vegetables. I'm thinking the first request should be money for building a website, because on that website you'll update people.
You can put everything. You can put everything on it.
So let us know, and I'll put, for those of you who are watching right now who are truly interested in finding out how you can help and are actually willing to put the money towards it, follow the comments on this recording on both the Imagine Al-Kebulan and Kumbukeni. Later, come back to check the comments, because once Kathomi tells us what needs to be done, we will put it there in the comments. So how much is you creating a good website going to cost, so that you can have all this information and people just go there and click, and you can have a connection to an account that shows what is being done and how money is being distributed. So let us know. We'll put it in the comments. If you're truly back a bag, if you're truly interested in helping, that I think, Oladile, what do you think of that as a solution for now?
I agree, because I think we need the funds, and if anybody wants to support, whatever you're watching, people are connected on LinkedIn, on YouTube. I've got it on Instagram. If you just reach back to us. Yeah. This is basically when we're talking about Ubuntu and community. This is everyone's battle, because if Kenyans can win, everybody wins, and this will galvanize the rest. This will galvanize the whole of the continent. Then I can show Nigerians, say we were doing this in Kenya. So Nigerians, you can follow suit, and we can connect Kathomi with the guys that I know in Nigeria. I can connect you with them. So we have and this is basically what we do. We're building a consensus, a collab, people who are thinking alike, working together as a Pan-African kind of consensus, because we have to battle this from all fronts.
But also, to add to what Oladile is saying and to this statement, question, how do we build Pan-African unity on these issues? There is an organization that just reached out to me today and said they're going to organize something this December for multiple organizations to come together regarding this, to just start having that conversation. How do we unite beyond our differences? So if I make that call to you as an organization and say, hey, we're meeting on this date, show up please, so that we can just have this put aside your, I'm talking about those organizations that like to have their names on the marquee of the event, and to be known that, oh, such and such organization held this event. This is not about that. This is going to be a collection of African organizations, no names named. A collection of African organizations have come together to discuss unity. And you come with your humble self, because we are dying on these streets, and your ego is not worth losing this fight. So this is what it's going to be. If Nduku calls you and says there's an organization running this, show up. Let's just show up for the conversation. So Kathomi, I say that to say, I am one who's always criticizing taking cases to the UN, but sometimes taking cases to the UN is sticking a middle finger to the imperialist. Sometimes that's all it is. And we need a big middle finger to the imperialist. But even beyond that, if we can have this conversation and decide how we're going to coordinate, we need a Pan-African legal or indictment. It doesn't even have to be in a court. It can be just a paper that we've all signed. We are indicting all these organizations, the United States, these, like all the governments, because the organizations and the governments are one and the same thing. But it's good, for those of you who do law, you've been in court lately, it's good to name names. You have to name names. You cannot be vague about indictments.
You know, this year, the year of reparations, the UN, the AU has called that. I think that will fit perfectly into that.
I was gonna say the AU, but the only way we're doing this with the AU is squeezing their balls. Yes, that language is.
We're not partnering with them, but at least they've called it. They've called for it anyway.
But we can also, we are also intelligent people. We can also say, because the organization that was created to represent us as Africans has failed us, we as the African people are coming together. We will word the legal document and say we are coming together, and it will be broadcasted on even if it takes years to keep broadcasting. We, as the African people, reject this move by these people. And we will play his video claiming that he wants us to be reduced in population. So I'm saying to you...
So many of those videos. There's so many.
To you and Oladile and to everyone else who's listening to us, because Kilimo Cha Haki is not just Kathomi. It's many other people who've come together to work.
It's in the heart, it's in the spirit.
Right? Yes. And to the farmers. For once, let's put our differences aside and come together and work together. This is not about you getting popularity, the Kenyans who seek popularity. This is not about you being the most followed, the most subscribed person. This is about us getting ourselves liberated. So, and the things that, by the way, so that we get ourselves clear, the things that usually break these organizations and these gatherings is some people still want to work with the white man. We cannot do that in that meeting.
Actually, let me tell you something on that. I've marked these organizations, so I know what they stand for. I understand all of them. So when there's an event, when there's some conference, I'll always look, who are the sponsors? Who is sponsoring this event? They actually come in very subtle ways, very like a snake that slithers through the ground. You will not know by the time they vanquish you. And I've gone to meetings, organizations, agricultural organizations that are actually funded by Agra. And they've called me a couple of times. Then I'm like, are you sure you're not going to get conflicted by my presence? Because I'm fighting GMOs.
Yep.
And you want me. Oh, Mary, we want to have a discussion. We want another opinion. And I think we don't have the days of rhetoric, the days of what is it called? This boardroom thing,
Oh, pleasantries and what's it called?
Diplomacies.
Like diplomacy. You want to be right or accepted.
Politically correct. Yeah.
Politically correct. That's the word I was looking for. We are in an urgent situation. We need to fix our country. Okay, we need to fix our situation. It's urgent,
Yes, it is.
It's urgent. If it takes one person shouting, 10 people, it's urgent. The things that we need to do are very urgent, especially when it comes to food colonization, which is what they want to do. I know Nigeria is one of the biggest producers of cassava.
Yes, they are the world's biggest.
Achebe's book.
And consumers too.
Talks about it.
Yes, yep.
Actually, they are. When you look at the African continent, Kenya, South Africa, South Africa, I'm not going to talk a lot about Egypt, but Kenya and South Africa are the most westernized countries.
They are.
Even in terms of culture erosion, our
absolutely
cultures are more eroded.
I call it the Americanization of Kenya.
And I noticed that, apart from Nduku, I noticed that with quite a few Kenyans and South Africans, the way they move and the way they talk. So yeah, I see that.
Even on the food. Yeah. Even on the food, our indigenous foods, okay, the level of brainwash in the Kenyans and South Africa is so high. We want to be like the Mzungus, every other time.
Yep.
So imagine if GMO has been legalized in Nigeria, which we actually look into the West, into the Nigeria, the Cameroon, the Senegal, all those countries in the West, because you're still very traditional in your foods.
Yeah.
Now they've penetrated in Nigeria, and I can assure you
they got maize. Yeah, they have.
The very first thing they'll do, they bring in cassava tuber, the GMO cassava tuber, because that's your staple food.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do is very urgent, very, very urgent. And I have this good feeling in my heart. The results are also supersonically quick. The results we get are quick. So it means the reception, even in the spirit realm, I think the gods are on our side,
Yes.
Even in the spirit realm, things are working because like I've done Kilimo Cha Haki work, just volunteer. I just go and do. I don't care. I just go. I just do. I don't need money. Like I have my time. I have the willingness. Just go and do it. Even I fund it myself. I pay my ticket and such things. So and one thing that I'm happy is we are now identifying the problem.
Yes.
And after identifying the problem, we are already pinpointing the solutions.
Yep.
We know our solutions are not with the government. We know.
Absolutely.
It's not there. Yeah. So we have to go unconventional. We have to go out of the laid systems.
Yeah.
And I like when Duko said we need even to petition even the AU. There's nothing wrong even doing letters to these organizations that, of course, are sham of African organizations, and say and question the involvement. The AU, of course, we know they bid for the colonialists, they bid for the imperialists, but there's nothing wrong with letting them know. We know what they are doing. We know what the problem is. We know Gates should not be in Africa. They've not called him out with all his activities in Africa. We can actually put science documents from the times of history and mention how our populations have been terminated through diseases that are patented. We can put all these videos together. We can, it's no longer conspiracy, and it's okay they call it conspiracy. They talk about it themselves, And if you ask me, we need to, we need to increase the fight. we need to loop in more people.
We need to expand it.
We need to expand this fight, and we will win.
Yeah,
we will win.
Yeah. So we have connections in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. So we're going to start doing that. And Burkina Faso. We're going to start connecting whichever way we can, however long it's going to take. I just spoke to Oladele the other day and I was telling him, man, I'm so glad we are patient. We are made for this. We started Kumbukeni in hold on. We started Kumbukeni in 2023, and it's like, you know how YouTube works. We never make more than $100, and if by the time you get to $100, it's 4 months, and by the time they send it, it's 5 months, right? It's not like we're making money here and swimming in money. No, but we know what this is, and we cannot give up. Even when I'm busy, I still try to make a broadcast, right? So I say that to say, and Oladile and I have met people, Kenyans. We used to work with Kenyans when we were doing the protests. They've broken our hearts. They've called us names. They have put stuff online about us, and we still keep it pushing. I'm just saying, this work is not easy, and we should expect that response from people who are trying to hold up this system. We should expect that they are going to attack us, and we should prepare ourselves. So if you join us in this work, don't come thinking that it's going to be all good and nice. It's painful work. It hurts emotionally. And we have each other. That's how we survive. We have each other. We hold each other's backs. But make no mistake, it's not going to be easy work. And you will be criticized and praised. Yeah.
It's not easy, man, because people attack us all the time online. You know, we've had different collaborations. People will go, you know, it happens all the time. But as long as you're single-minded about this and you basically think it's your work, you have to do it, you got nowhere else to go. And that's what holds me. And that's what me and Nduku, we bounce off each other all the time. That's why, you know, when we're together, you know, I feel comfortable. You know, we're good, and we keep pushing. Kathomi, you're on our side. I'm gonna link you up to my Nigerian brothers as well. So you know, we got some guys who are doing the work already. So yeah.
Let me tell you, I keep saying that the giant of Africa is Nigeria. Giant, and I actually don't mean the government. I mean the people.
Oh yeah,
the people.
The giant of Africa is the day the people of Nigeria will wake up. We don't even need a big number. I don't know the population. The population of Nigeria is what percentage?
It's about 220 million people.
220 million people. So we do 10% of that. It's 20 million people. 20 million. We only need 20 million Nigerians to wake up. Just that. Yeah.
And I like that formula for all the nations.
Yes.
That's what we're working on. That's basically what we're doing.
We just need a 20% of the population to wake up.
Even 5%. I'm
telling you, the energy that Nigerians have, the gusto, everything that they have. With that 20 million Nigeria woken, it's not just Africa, they'll actually save the world. You see what Kenya has done. Kenya is we are a small population. Yeah. We are not better from Nigeria by any chance. Just more or less the same kind of problems. A bit more of an organized government, but still a government that is imperialist controlled. Just the same as Nigeria. Yeah. But the people are able to hold the government.
And this is what we haven't got.
And this is what we get. So I'm telling you, we are getting there. The more people wake up and understand, you know, I'm so happy to be part of this conversation. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 100 people or 20 people that listen to this kind of a conversation. This is a seed that has been sowed.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
You don't know. There's a seed that has been sowed. You don't know the person who hears the whole of this podcast. What has been sowed in their hearts? What is going to germinate? We don't know what is going to germinate, but a seed has been sowed. So I have a lot of joy in my heart because I know we are on the path of victory.
Absolutely.
We just need to have more collective consciousness. It's not a one-person thing. No. It's a collective, you know, in the spirit, in the physical, in the thinking. You know, it's a collective. You know, when I watched your intro on this podcast, I was like, oh my goodness, this is what she talks about. this is the spirit. This is what she wants to achieve. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah. This is what every African needs to be vibrating on. And we now know our problems. They're clear, they're labeled. You know, we didn't even know our problems before. Now we know our problems.
Yep.
Where we thought we were getting solutions, we know we can no longer get solutions from there. We know what the IMF is doing in Kenya. We know what the World Bank is doing in Kenya. It's pushed the country into debt that we will never pay, or we might never pay. And that's what they wanted. So we now know the IMF, the World Bank will never save this country, but sink the country in more problems. We know the electoral system is rigged against the people.
Yep.
You know,
democracy is a scam.
It's a scam. It's a scam for it doesn't work for the people.
Not for us.
You know, not for us. So you see, it's now when you're able, even when you go to a doctor, you're able to diagnose the problem. That's one step of getting to the solution. Yeah. So I'm so happy for this. I would tell you the willingness of people to fight to do this. Oh my goodness. People, Mary, I want to do this. I want to do this. I like, you know, when you talked about the website, I'm like, oh, thank God. Maybe the website is going to make things easier. People can plug in, you know.
Yes. I think it's needed.
Can plug in. And even a lawyer who wants to put up a case, we can have many cases.
Yes. I think you need to do it. And then you can have a fundraising page as well where people can actually donate money and stuff like that. So yeah, you need to do it.
Exactly.
So let the people know where they can find you. What are the socials where they can find you, where they can find Kilimo Cha Haki? Just put them up, or I'll type them as you say them.
Yeah, I think a lot of the work that we do, or we have a very robust WhatsApp group of Kilimo Cha Haki of thousands of people, majorly Kenyans. Okay. And I plug people in there. You know, it's sort of a farmer's place. It's a farmer's place.
Definitely put us in there. Yeah, definitely.
I will definitely do that. On my social, on my TikTok account, TikTok account is basically this kind of a campaign. It's no longer. I'm not. When I came into TikTok, I came to TikTok to dance, to sing, to do jokes, and then I realized there's no room to have fun. Because it's so much that you needed to do.
Not when your people are dying.
There was no room for comedy on TikTok. So Mary, where's my phone? Nduko, you know my handles. I think I'll just plug them in.
I'm about to do that. Yeah, I'm about to get it now. Yeah.
And a lot of work that we do on Kilimo Cha Haki on the fight, I plug it in there on my TikTok. I'm also big on X, and on my X account is let me go there. My X.
So your TikTok account, is that Kathomi _MR, yeah?
Yes.
Is that you?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I think I follow you already.
Thank you. And then on X, I'm at Mary K 2022. I go by the name Hekima Hub.
Wait, on Twitter?
At Mary K, the M and the K is capital, at Mary K 2022.
Oh, so I followed the wrong one. At R Kathomi. I followed the wrong one. So say that one more time. At Mary K.
Mary K. Let me see if I'm able to. That's how my account looks like. That's the logo.
Okay.
Hekima Hub. At Mary K 2022. You'll see a Hekima Hub logo.
Nice. I see it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's my handle on X. And basically, when we win, the M is capital.
Okay.
The M is capital. Yeah, the M is capital. We fight. If we win one battle, we are happy. We've won the Kenya Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act. We are happy. We won against immunization of all animals. We are happy. Yes, that's it. Yeah. We are happy, and we keep fighting until we are free. You know, I will add you on Kilimo Cha Haki forum. Kilimo Cha Haki is actually registered. It just we are registered as an NGO. We even have bank accounts. The only thing we've not done, we've not launched our website, and I totally agree. We need to go down on the website quickly so that people are able to plug in properly.
Yeah.
And we keep this fight going, and we have as many people as possible fighting for our food sovereignty, because basically Kilimo Cha Haki fights for our food sovereignty and our food security, which is under serious threat right now. And when we talk about food security and food sovereignty, it actually borders on it's a treasonous activity that is going on. Okay,
genocide.
When a country talks about sovereignty, when a country talks about borders, when a country talks about treason, what is happening right now is treasonous to the country, to the people.
Yes. Our officials are basically complicit to their own genocide.
Yeah. And I tell people, this administration, these governments can take all the money. They can steal everything like they're doing, but don't touch the food. Because even a man without money will cook or will borrow food and eat. But now they're taking the food. When they take the food, that's treason. For me, that's treason.
That's the biggest threat. Yes,
that's the biggest threat for our population when you take the food. Yeah. There's someone who asked me a question, and we need to think about this very deeply. They took slaves to the Arab countries. I've been to Dubai. When you are even in the transport, the tunnel, the underground tunnels, you'll see they plastered it all over in Dubai. Slaves coming into.
So we correct enslaved Africa, because we were free people, and enslaved Africans.
Enslaved. When you go to Dubai, you will see they have images of Africans being in those boats, being taken to Dubai. It's happened in all the UAE countries. The Arabs actually were the first people that actually traded the Africans as slaves. But there's no one who asks the question, where did those slaves go to? We do not have a black race in UAE. Where did they go to? Completely exterminated. Completely done away with. There's a population that died and went and forgotten. It's not like the Caribbean, the Black Americans. We still have traces of their descendants of the slaves. So what they want to do is exterminate the Black people, and we are the source of life. The threat is actually a threat on humanity. When you look at the Black person, is the source of life.
Absolutely, we are the sun.
Yes,
we are the source.
Exactly, and this is how serious this matter is. We have to. We can't sleep. We have to figure out how we do this thing. We can't sleep.
I have two things I want to share before we head out. Thank you so much, Kathomi. Remember the board, the Biosafety Kenya Authority that Kathomi mentioned before, that is a part of the Kenyan government that is supposed to be protecting us and building biosafety, right? So I did a search on them, and these are two things that I wanted to read to everyone. The authority raises funds from international development partners through grants and programs. Examples of partners include USAID, Food and Agriculture Organization, African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, International Food Policy Research Institute, World Health Organization, Codex Alimentarius Commission. And then it goes on to say, this Biosafety Authority of Kenya is controversial. The authority is controversial in Kenya because it sits at the center of the GMO debate. Critics argue it collaborates closely with pro-biotech international organizations. It may have institutional incentives to approve. It may have institutional incentives to approve more GMO projects due to regulatory fee revenue. Many of its regulatory frameworks are developed with foreign technical assistance.
As always.
We're not doing the science ourselves.
Nope.
Supporters argue, I'll give the balance, it ensures biosafety compliance. How? It enables biotechnology, innovation, and food production. Notice how the supporters only have 2 points to argue, because that's how weak their points are. But that right there tells you that even this entity of the Kenyan government is not serving the Kenyan people. It has been co-opted. So Kathomi is right when she says this fight is not going to be won in government entities and these misleaders. This has to be a
people's fight.
People's movement that unites across Africa and globally, everywhere where Africans are, Brazil, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, everywhere. We have to come together and say enough is enough. This is genocide against our people. We have evidence that shows you want to exterminate us, and we're standing against it. And every organization that has betrayed us, and we will name all the nations and their leaders, Ruto, Kenya, Tinubu, we now do not recognize you as leaders. Whether they are in office or not, we will say as Africans, we do not recognize you as leaders because you have failed us. Based on our constitutions, you have failed to represent your people. The AU, we do not recognize you as an entity that represents African. The African people, this percentage of the African people are saying, no, we don't see you as a legitimate entity anymore. Like, this is how we need to move. And we need to say it with a full chest and often, just in case they don't get the message. Often we come back and say, this is where we stand. So hopefully we can come together and do this. Last words, both of you, and then we close out. Thank you all for supporting us. Thank you in the comments. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting us and staying on. All 30 of you on YouTube and the others on Twitter and everywhere else you're following us. Asanteni. Kathomi, last words. Oladele, last words.
I'll just be very brief. Whoever is listening,
that internet decides to take her last word. Listen, we're gonna wait for Kathomi to come back. I'm gonna send her a message. Oladele, last words. Even if me and Oladele have to sing right now, we're gonna start singing a song until Kathomi comes back. We're gonna do that.
Okay, last words from me. And guys, for you who are watching this, and this is basically why we do what we do. It's information. It's basically to give us the understanding of how the world moves and how the world is working against Africa. So, like I always say, and I'll reiterate again, Africans, we are at war. We can't afford to sit back and pretend that everything's okay, everything's normal, because it's not normal. So, guys, as we move, we need to move strategically. We need to move in community. We need to build a pan-African global network where we can actually liaise, we can collaborate, we can talk to each other. And the key is no egos. Put your egos aside. Your Western educated LL, whatever you get, don't bring it to the table, please, because this is basically one of the biggest challenges facing Africans. Once you've got that letter behind your name, you think that's your importance. It's nothing to do with that. Just bring yourself as you are, and let's work together. Let's collaborate together. Let's do this Pan-African work together. The government's not going to save us. Work is down to you and I. That's why we do the broadcast, just to bring the information, just for you to understand the gravity of what we're going through. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, Oladele, I hope you have tuned your voice because we're about to sing. But you're right. I get frustrated when we are in conversations. And hopefully this organization that is calling us to talk about unity is not going to be having that type of a conversation. And we're talking about current African misleaders as part of the solution. No. If you're saying that, you clearly do not understand what the problem is. Or they've paid you to make sure that they are, like the entities that be, have paid you to make sure that that conversation is derailed. So the solution is not in any African leader today. Traore is too busy doing Burkina Faso. We're not removing him, but we're saying he's too busy. He needs our support. That's why we're not putting him on task with this one. He needs our support. And then he'll support us whichever way we want. But this has to be the people's movement. We, the grandmothers, the children, the teenagers, the young men, the women, if you have people in your family who've died of cancer and you don't understand how they got it, and you've been living in Kenya, you've not even left and gone elsewhere, this is a fight for you and you need to join us. If you have, all of a sudden my mom says to me, couple of years or last year, we have allergies. It is this maize that we are growing now. All of a sudden they have allergies. Oladile, we never had. I knew about allergies when I came to the United States.
Yeah, me too.
I had never heard of anything like allergy. I didn't even know what an allergy is. And my mother calls me and says, this maize that we are growing now, we have allergies. We are sneezing. All of a sudden. So this is a fight for you, and you should join us. Kathomi, last words before they take you away again.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's happening to my laptop. This is crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what they're doing to my laptop.
Yes.
Now, everyone can do something. That's what I wanted to say. Everyone can do something. Do not sit there and imagine Nduko is the only person who can do something. Oh, Nduko has the time. She has the finances. She can do a pot. No, everyone can do something. Yeah. Even our brother, you have things to do, not this, but you choose to do this.
Yeah.
So I find people keep saying, okay, you Mary, you're putting up a good fight. It's not Mary. Everyone can do something.
Yeah.
Everyone
see
should.
what you can do. Yeah, see what you can do. You can talk to a particular office. Maybe you sit in a high-end office. There's someone you can talk to. You can just pick a phone call, talk to your mother, ask your mother where you're buying seeds. There's something you can do on this journey. It's a collective. So I encourage people. There's a lawyer who's never done anything pro bono. Pick such a case and do it pro bono. For the it doesn't have to be for the money. Go to court for the sake of the people. You know, there's something everyone can do. Just listen to your heart. God is going to put an impression in your heart. What can you do in this journey? Liberating our people, liberating our continent, enlightening people. Maybe you can just speak about it. Just do something. Yeah. Do something. Do not say it's those people. No, everyone needs to do something. But I have this joy in my heart that you're walking towards victory. And Nduko, again, thank you for what you do. I want to see you going like explosive. You know, I want to see you going like real big, real big. There are a lot of problems afflicting the African people.
Yeah.
And we'll fix each at a time. We'll fix it. We fix the political side. We'll fix the health. There's a lot of problems afflicting the people. Mm-hmm. But the biggest of them all is waking the masses.
Yeah, we're going big, all of us together. Remember that. We're all going big.
We're all doing it, man.
As Africa is going to go big and let them know that we're not playing these games anymore. We're not inferior. In fact, you're lucky you're surviving because of us. Like yesterday, we had a guest on Friday, and he said, our resources is what is building the weapons they're using now in Israel and everywhere. I'm like, so if we understand that, why don't we shut this down? We have the power to shut these wars down.
Yeah, we do. You do.
So we need to get ourselves on the right page.
Yeah.
I thank you. I know how dangerous the work you're doing is on the ground, and may you be protected by nature, by our creator,
by our ancestors.
By our ancestors. May you all be protected. May you all be guided to serve the people and to serve the well-being of the people. May you stand strong against the challenges that people face when they do this. If that CIA operative who's sent to you, taking you out for Nyamachoma, may you be able to see them before they even approach you and fight whatever amount of money they'll offer you. May you all stay grounded.
I share. Right. Amen.
Kathomi has frozen again. We love you.
Yeah, she's good.
Kathomi, and
thanks, guys.
Working with Kilimo Cha Haki. Asanteni, kwaherini. Be well, everyone. Let's keep the
guys
going.